I think that what people don't know about you, or maybe they do, but for people who don't, you really have kind of come from a place of, I mean, you built everything all by yourself. You've done all this by yourself.
I did, and that feels like it sounds self-involved, but I did. I mean, I just have had a lot of no's in my life. I mean, I've always had a certain vision and a certain dream, and it's changed. I talk about in the book, All Roads Lead to Rome, you know, always being on the road. You don't know where you'll end up, and you may get derailed, but you have to always be on the road, and I always have.
What did you think you were going to do?
I went through everything. I've had so many careers. I've had so many more failures than, you know, successes. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to have a voice. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to be able to pay my own rent. But for a lot of my life, I made decisions out of fear instead of truth. And I wanted to be financially supported by a man, because I thought that would take care of me, and then I wouldn't have to do all of this. But I could never kind of really stick to that, so I would always go back to the road. And being true to myself the whole way through, I ended up getting there.
So you went on The Apprentice, and then that kind of everything led to everything else. Like you said, all roads lead to Rome. So you did that. That led you on a different...
I was on The Apprentice. I was broke in 2007.
Broke, like really broke.
Between negative 50 and negative $100,000 tax returns in 2006 and 2007. My assistant made more than I did. But I mean, it wasn't like eating out of a can. I had expensive purses from boyfriends, don't get me wrong. You know, but I wouldn't be able to take the cabs to get to the dinner, you know, sometimes. I was broke, but I always had a passion. And I was on The Apprentice because I thought it would save me. I thought I wanted that job. I really thought that I would be Martha Stewart's predecessor, and she would know that. And I worked so hard to get that, and then I didn't get that. And I used that experience as like a dry sponge to just squeeze it and get a little bit of liquid out of it to you know, do different shows and write for Health Magazine. And I just started to hit a little bit. And then Housewives came along, and everyone said not to do it. It was before it was the big success it is now. It was sort of in the beginning. And I just, you know, no. Everyone told me no. And I said, you know, I could kind of make this into what I think it could be. And the same thing was with my first book, Naturally Thin. Everyone said, no, that will never work. It should be, you know, lose this much weight in this much time, or it has to be some big promise. And I said to you earlier, I felt like Lauren Hutton, and someone said, take the space out of your teeth. And I said, no, this is what it's going to be. So the whole way I've kind of had to find my own truth and decide what I really thought could be possible, including meeting a husband in my late 30s and, you know, being able to have a child so late. I know I don't know how much time we have, but I have a great story that defines the whole thing. I had a boyfriend who had 3 kids, and I was in my 30s, and I thought that I should marry him because he's a great guy and he loved me, and, you know, I'm never going to find someone who doesn't have kids at my age, and it's never going to happen for me. And I broke up with him, and he said, you know, you don't always get everything you want. He said, every 9-year-old boy wants to pitch for the Yankees, and I'm not pitching for the Yankees. And I said, well, I still want to pitch for the Yankees. In my career, in my life, and I ended up meeting Jason, and my career exploded. So you can make things happen, anything.
You can get everything you want. You really can.
You really can.
Yeah. All right. See, I could just sit here and talk to you for a long time.
I do. I love being here with you.
So we'll take a break, and we'll take some questions from the audience and talk more about this book and A Place of Yes, which is a wonderful, positive title.
Thank you.
We'll be back.